everyone. Wednesday the 3rd of February. But before I start today, I just want to mention something that happened just the other night there. Monday evening, we had a Zoom conference with our friends in Zuglo Church in Hungary. And as you know, we are twinned with Zuglo Church, and it was wonderful, just wonderful to see their faces and to chat with them and then get on to the business of what we were going to be discussing. And it was really, really nice. And we had been communicating with them, and we're trying to organise some more. Well, the old-fashioned term would be called pen pals, but we're hoping that people will become either pen pals or, well, maybe the more modern day one is email pals. They have a number of people in Hungary who would love to communicate with us. It doesn't have to be every week or every month, just whenever you had any news to pass on, and then they would contact you. And we thought it'd be good for more people, of either our congregation or friends of our congregation, just to get to know them a bit better. So can I ask that you give that some consideration? We would love to hear from you. Probably the easiest person to get a hold of would be me, but we'd love to hear if you would be willing to take up an email pal with our friends in Hungary, or pen pal, whatever suits you. So that's my little business for today. So I was just thinking something that Billy said to me the other day there, and a song immediately jumped into my head. And the song, of course, is I'm in Heaven. And of course, that's from Top Hat, isn't it? With Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. But I had to look up the actual words for it. So I've written them down. So it says, Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find this happiness I seek when we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, how lovely is that? And then that got me thinking, one of my favourite songs actually begins with the word heaven as well. Heaven is a half pipe. Now, half pipe, of course, is a snowboarding term, skating term. I didn't know that at the time, but so I just thought I would read the words to you of Heaven is a Half Pipe by OPM. If I die before I wake, at least in heaven I can skate. 'Cause right now on earth I can't do jack without the man up on my back. Now heaven would be a DJ spinning dub all night long, and heaven would just be kicking back with Jesus packing my bag. And if you don't believe in Jesus and Mohammed or Buddha too, and while the world is warring, we'll just sit back and laugh at you. So that was Heaven is a Half Pipe. And then I thought, well, what other ones do I know? And so immediately, The Stairway to Heaven, I think that was Led Zeppelin, if I'm right. Now, he wrote this song because a friend died in a car crash. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, ooh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. And then, well, I think the last one I'm going to give you, Knocking on Heaven's Door. I'm sure you can all hum it away. That was, of course, by Bob Dylan, and it was written for a soundtrack for a film. Mama, take this badge from me. I can't take it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. So there's lots of different variations of why people sing about heaven. And the reason all this came about was because I had a wonderful day on Friday. I really did. And it was Billy that put this whole idea in my head. I had booked to go and give blood just in the hall next to Caird Hall in Dundee. So I thought, oh, I haven't been out of Forfar since the 18th of December. So I thought, right, I will park at Marks and Spencer's at the quayside, do a little shopping in Marks, then walk up into the town centre, give my blood, and then just walk back. And that's been getting exercise. I gave blood and I got some food from Marks. So I did all that. And can I just say to you that when I was wandering around Mark's, just the food hall, of course, and buying all these different lovely, lovely foods, it felt like I was in heaven. So when I came back and I'm packing the car, and Billy's saying to me, "Oh, you look as though you've been in heaven," it was just wonderful to get back to Mark's. I just want to explain to you, I do most of my food shopping in March generally, so it's normal for me to be there. But so I've missed it greatly, but it did feel a little bit like heaven. So Marks and Spencer's to me was like Fred and Ginger dancing cheek to cheek. Another form of heaven, my friend just phoned me the other day there, in fact, just yesterday, and said to me that she was just about something up on Facebook to say that she was retiring. So this is my colleague Fiona, and it must feel a little bit like heaven for her. She's done all her work all of her life, and now the time has come for her to just relax. So that was good news from her as well. I'm going to miss her as a colleague, but at least I've got the holidays sorted out. That's not so bad, is it? That's a good thing as well. But heaven, what's heaven to you at this time? Because we'll all have an idea of what heaven is to you. Most people, I think, at the minute, it would just be heaven to be with family and friends, to be out and about, to be socialising, to be back to normal. I think most people would agree that's what heaven would be like just now for most people. But I looked up some people, there's a thing on the webpage, I looked it up and it was people's definition of heaven. So here we go. Heaven to some people is peace, happiness, understanding, spirituality, mind, abode, deeds, paradise, love, success, existence, imagination, perfection, beauty, tranquility, life, relationships, desire, closeness, moments, thoughts, and dreams. That was what came up for what people thought of heaven. But heaven, as we know, and that's why you'll see me in uniform today, is that I've just came back from a funeral. This is being recorded on Tuesday the 2nd of February. This is when I record it. And I've just come back from a funeral. And we talk of heaven, about being with Jesus and being safe and at rest. And just looking down on all of us, don't we? And we talk of just, to me, a lovely scenario of where we want to be. And we're told by Jesus that is where we want to be, in heaven with him. So I also thought I would just mention to you the people who have died this year, since we've not been at church for me to announce it and it's not been out in the Steeple Times. So the ones who have passed away sadly are Alistair Waddle, Alan Thompson, Chick Smith and Derek Calder. And sadly, just before I went to do the funeral today, I learned that our eldest member in the church, who was 101 3/4, May Balfour, sadly passed away in the morning of the 2nd of February. So our thoughts and prayers are with all of these people's families at this time, because it is sad when a loved one has died. The one thing I've left to near the end here is Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. They say in heaven, love comes first. We'll make heaven a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. When the night falls down, I wait for you, you come around, and the world's alive with the sound of kids on the streets outside. When I feel alone, I reach for you, and you bring me home. When I'm lost at sea, I hear your voice, and it carries me. In this world, we are just beginning to understand the miracles of living. Baby, I was afraid, but I'm not afraid anymore. I know that wasn't written about people of faith, about Jesus or anything like that. However, I think the words are so very apt for people of a life of faith, because heaven is a place on earth also, and it's up to each and every one of us to make it feel like that. We're meant to be bringing earth down to heaven, so that heaven down to earth, so that we can live much better lives here on earth before we get to join Jesus in heaven. So heaven can be a place on earth, and it's so easily done, especially at this time during the pandemic. It could be that phone call because somebody's not spoken to anyone in ages and you just phone and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Or it could be the Zoom call. It could be the FaceTime. It could be the visits outside a window. It could be meeting a single person in the park, like we're not supposed to do very many folk, just one person at a time. But we can bring heaven down to earth. And I hope that that's something that we can all strive to do that little bit more. Have a great week, everyone. God bless.